Hi friends, welcome back to another week of online learning. This week is special because it is the last week for our Native Americans unit. You guys have done some pretty cool things with this. So I'm excited for you guys to wrap this up with a really fun creative project and then stay tuned for what you will be doing after this. So this week you're going to be creating a new Native American tribe. um, it gives you the basic directions in It's Learning, but like we've been doing, you're going to hop on over into Google Classrooms. Um, for this project, you will be using everything that you've learned about Native Americans to create a brand new group. You're going to answer a variety of questions in the assignment called Create a New Native American Tribe. So just like we've been doing, when you click on this, it'll make a copy for you. Um, you will be answering a bunch of different questions like the name of the tribe, location of the tribe. I want you guys to be super duper creative with this. So there's really no rules here. You can make it really creative and silly, or you can make it a little bit more realistic where it's related to information about different tribes that you've already learned about. You can kind of think of it like a scamper type activity where you take an existing tribe and make little changes to it to end up with a totally different thing at the end. So that's your choice. You have a lot of freedom with this. I'm really excited to see what you end up doing. So after you name it and tell me where it is, you're going to talk about the climate and the geography of the habitat. Climate is the weather over a long period of time. So like here in Georgia, we have a pretty mild climate. We have a pretty warm climate. It's pretty wet, at least in the last few years, it's been pretty wet. The geography is like the landforms that you have. So is it out in the plains? Is it in the mountains? Is it near the water? And then most importantly, how does the climate affect them? So, if you have like the Inuits, their climate of being really, really cold and lots of snow and permafrost, that really impacted their way of life big time. So think about how the climate can impact them. What kind of shelter did they use? So that's going to be, um, you know, the longhouses or the teepees, or you can completely create a new type of shelter. What did they do to protect themselves from their enemies? What's a ceremony that they had? So I know some of you guys learned about the ceremonies. They have the naming ceremony that we talked about at the very beginning of our unit. They have the ceremonies in the longhouses that are related to their government. So you can pick a ceremony that they would have. What did they wear? What type of clothing was it? So like, what did it look like? What was it made out of? That kind of thing. What did they eat and how did they get their food? What are the roles of the men, the women, and the children? Um, from your tribe research, you learned that the men, women, and children in most tribes had different roles. So you can kind of use those ideas from what you did last week to help you with this. What type of government did they have? So did they have a democracy? Was it direct? Was it indirect? Did they have a king where the king had all the control? And you can use information that you've talked about in your third grade class to help you with this as well. What are 5 laws that they had to follow? So you may have we talked a little bit about the laws when we studied our Constitution. So you can use 5 that you think are really important there, or you can make them a little bit more creative. Now, once you've done all of those things, you have 2 choices. So you can either do a map or model of the village or a final presentation that puts together all the information above. You can, of course, do both, but I don't want you to be super stressed out about what to do. So if you do a map or a model, you could probably make a map on the computer somehow, like using different shapes and things like that, like maybe on a Google slide. You could be ultra creative and do it like on Google SketchUp, or you could draw it on a piece of paper. A model is more like a 3D thing, kind of like the longhouse that we did. That was a model of a longhouse. Um, so that one, I think you'd probably need to be using materials that you have at home and send me a picture or even a video of it. Your final presentation can be like a Google slide. You can make an iMovie where you have like a script and you're talking about it. There are a lot of possibilities with this. So you can do a storyboard that where you're, you know, sharing information about the tribe in kind of a comic strip way. So it's your choice. So here you're going to tell me which one you're doing. You're doing the map model, or like the presentation of all the information. And then when you finish it, you're going to link it here. So if you end up doing like a Google slide, let's see. Well, okay, let's say that I did it on a Word document. So if you have that Word document, when you go up to share, instead of typing in my email address, because then that'll go to like an inbox and it won't be connected to this paper, you will make sure link sharing is on, and then you're going to copy that link. And then when you paste it down here, I'll be able to click on it and see your project. So it'll all be together. I also know some of you guys have figured out how over on the side, mine looks different than yours right now, but over on the side, you can like add something to an assignment. If you want to do that, then you would just say linked in, on the assignment or something like that, just to tell me where to find it. All right, my friends, I cannot wait to see what awesome work you guys do. Hope to see you at our morning meeting.